I thought my world ended the moment I said goodbye to my dying husband. I walked out of that hospital with tears pouring down my face. But then I heard two nurses whispering about a secret so shocking, it froze me in my tracks. What I learned next changed everything I thought I knew about the man I loved. My name is Sarah, and just a few days ago, I lived through the most painful moment of my life. My husband, Ayan, was on his deathbed, losing a long and bitter battle with cancer. For 6 months, I stayed by his side every single day, praying, hoping, and breaking a little more inside with every test result. Ayan and I were the kind of love story people dream about. We met in college, and from the moment we locked eyes, it was as if the universe had aligned. We became best friends, then lovers, and eventually husband and wife. We built a small but cozy life together, filled with laughter, travel, and late-night talks under the stars. But then, cancer showed up like an uninvited storm. At first, we thought we could beat it. He was strong, optimistic. But the disease moved fast, too fast. His body grew weaker, the pain got worse, and the light in his eyes began to fade. Still, I never left his side. On the day the doctors told me he had only hours left, I sat next to him, holding his cold hand. He looked at me with a faint smile and whispered, "Forgive me for all the pain." I thought he meant the pain of watching him suffer, of losing him. I kissed his forehead, told him I loved him, and walked out of that hospital room in tears. I felt like I was leaving half of my soul behind. But just as I reached the hospital lobby, I heard something. 2 nurses whispering behind the reception desk. "Does she still not know?" one said. "I can't believe he kept that secret from her, especially now," the other replied. I stopped. My body froze. My tears turned cold. What secret were they talking about? At first, I tried to convince myself I'd misheard them. But something in my gut told me otherwise. I turned around and walked straight back into the hospital, but not to Ayan's room. I went toward the nurse's station. I didn't confront anyone. I simply observed, waited, and listened. Over the next hour, I managed to piece together bits of conversation from different staff members. One nurse, after noticing me nearby, hesitated before pulling me aside. She asked if I was Ayan's wife. When I said yes, her face changed. That's when she told me Ayan had been seeing someone else. Not recently, but during the last few months of his illness. Her name was Anya. Apparently, she'd been visiting him during times I wasn't there. Her name was listed in the hospital's visitor log, marked as family. I felt my knees weaken. The nurse apologized, clearly uncomfortable. She didn't know the full story, only that there had been another woman around. Later that day, I checked the hospital's records. Through a friend on the staff, I found out that Anya wasn't just anyone. She was Ayan's former fiancée, someone he was engaged to before we ever met. He had told me the relationship ended long ago. But now it seemed it never really ended. I dug deeper and discovered that in his will, yes, he had rewritten it during his illness, he had left a significant part of his estate to Anya. To me, a single mention, a small amount for support. I couldn't breathe. My husband, the man I thought I knew better than anyone, had been hiding another life. And now, I was standing in the ruins of a love built on lies. I had to meet her. I needed to look her in the eyes and hear her version of the story. Anya lived just 30 minutes away. I found her address through a contact, and when she opened the door, I could tell. She already knew who I was. Her eyes were red, like she'd been crying too. We sat down in silence. Then she spoke. "He told me he was leaving you. That things were over between you two. That he was sick, and I needed to be there for him." My heart sank. "He said that?" I asked, barely able to speak. "Yes," she nodded. "But I started to suspect something was wrong. I found out about you a few weeks ago, but by then, he was already too sick. I didn't know who to believe." She showed me messages, handwritten letters, even photos. Ayan had kept both of us in the dark, weaving a lie so tangled that neither of us saw the whole truth until it was too late. We were both victims, but I wasn't going to stay a victim. I hired a lawyer, challenged the will. I couldn't undo what Ayan had done, but I could protect myself and my future. Through it all, I found strength I didn't know I had. I faced betrayal, grief, and rage, and came out standing. Sometimes the people we trust the most were the best masks. We think we know them, love them, even fight for them. But in the end, truth has a way of revealing itself. And when it does, you have a choice. To let it break you, or to let it build you into someone unshakable.